Hello and welcome to today's Winning Woman Show. Today's topic is titled Making Something Out of Nothing. And I have a very special guest who's done just that. Her name is Funke Adepoju and she is a renowned designer based in Lagos, Nigeria. Although a young lady still in her 30s, she has owned a fashion brand for over 10 years. She has won the City People Fashion Award. She's been on MTN Fashion Week and many other notable fashion magazines and brands. Now, the reason why she's my guest today is because she built all of this out of nothing. She didn't have a big bankroll. She didn't have a huge sponsor. She started with little and made much out of it. And I know that many of our viewers have great dreams and ideas as well. And perhaps you've been sitting on your idea and wondering how you can make it a reality. Well, this is what today's show is all about. Let's sit and talk with one woman who's done just that and learn tips for how you can do that too. Hey, Funke, welcome to the Winning Woman Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. It's a delight to have you with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, as you know, the topic today is building something out of nothing. And I think you're ideal for that because you built a fashion brand out of nothing. But I know you studied economics at university. So tell me, how did the idea to birth a fashion line emerge?
Okay, so I'll be honest with you. It started with the necessity to have money.
Okay.
So I think that I took that and thought, you know what, I don't have enough pocket money and I need to make money somehow. So I started to embellish. So I would go to different people, my friends first, of course, and they would refer somebody else. And I would take their clothes and put embellishment on it. So if you have like an old t-shirt, I will put embellishment on it and then they will pay for it. And that's how I started to do it. And then I started to come to Lagos. I would buy Ankara. Ankara is not expensive. I would buy Ankara. I had a tailor in Ipori. I would go and sit with her. She will make it, I will embellish it, and then I started to sell it to people.
Okay. So when you say pocket money, I take it this is an idea that started in university?
Yes, it did. Started in university.
Okay. So you finished university, then what? Okay,
so luckily, because I started in uni, I started to make clients. There was an exhibition that one of my friends was holding. I couldn't even afford to pay for it at the time. But I spoke to her and she allowed me. So we did a barter system. So I would give her clothes and she would let me exhibit my stuff at her store. At the event. And that's what I did. So I got a stall and I got clients. And from there, people started to call.
Fantastic. Now, ideas are very powerful. And I think that's one of the things that is really important for me, for the viewers to get from this show.
Okay.
And so when you had the idea, at some point you had the idea that I need to take this to the next level. Did you realize at the time that you had the idea that it was going to be so life transforming for you, that in effect, your whole life was going to be built on this idea?
No, I didn't. I was doing it because I liked to do it. I liked to do it. It came to me easily.
Okay.
So I think it's key to do something that comes to you easily. There must be for everybody, I feel like there's something that comes to you easily. So it came to me easily.
A gift, a talent, something
that you do easily, you can do in your sleep. Different people may be talking, whatever. That was the one that came to me easily. So it was easy for me to do it. But what I find also is that a lot of times, if it comes to you easily, you do it well. And so for me, I did it, and Bella Niger, this was a long time ago. I didn't even know what Bella Niger was, quite frankly. So I started to get calls from Kenya. I started to get calls from Zimbabwe. I started to get, and I didn't really understand. So I actually asked one of them, and she said, I did a photo shoot. One of my friends, I got him, we came together, a couple of my friends. We did a photo shoot, and I put the pictures online, and Bella Niger took it and put it on their website. So apparently, that's where people had started seeing it from.
Right.
And then started to order. So I think that whatever it is, you don't have to do it in a big capacity. So do it. I mean, all I did was, the guy that took the pictures was just starting.
Right.
I used him, we worked together. He took the pictures. I used my sister. I used a couple of my friends who were the models.
Yeah. So it's the power of starting small, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Very, very important.
It is.
Okay. So once you got the idea, were there any barriers that you had to overcome personally? Any anxiety, any doubt, fears?
Oh yes, of course. A lot of, first of all, finding tailors, being able to pay them. You know, so I started with one person and I was managing, working with her. Also, I had to deliver the clothes. So I didn't have a car. So trying to deliver, that took time. Also, you would deal with a lot of people shutting you down. I had a lot of people saying, who is she? I don't know her. A lot of people wanted to work with brands that they already knew. But it was important for me, it was good for me because I had people who tried. I wouldn't say they believed in me. I would say they looked at it, oh, it looks nice, it's cheap, let me try it. So it's important to, I mean, there are people that said, oh, I'm not going to do, oh, I don't know her, what is she, I don't want to have anything to do with her. You will get people that will oppose you, but you can try other people. So if 10 people say no, one person will say yes.
So you go with the yeses.
Yes, you will. You try. Okay. Hopefully the yeses will become more yeses.
And you were also very young. So how did that factor in at the time? How old were you when you started?
I think I was, if I remember correctly, I think maybe I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So
that's really young.
Yes.
So was that a factor? Do you feel it, how people received you?
Oh, yes. I think that also because we're in a society where people like to do, I'm not her mate. I'm not her mate.
Right.
I'm not.
That's the cultural thing.
Yes, it's a cultural thing here where everybody that wants to deal with you almost feels like, also, I'm not her mate. Also, who is she?
Right.
Where is she coming from? But I didn't let that bother me. I just continued. So I would still smile, even when they were not nice to me, I would still smile and tell them, try it, you know, just try it on, oh, I don't know. They would like rather do the bigger brands. But eventually,
it caught on.
Yeah, they started to, the more people that tried it on liked it. Also, I was nice to them, even when they were not nice. So I think
customer service as well.
Yes, customer service. I would say that is one of the key factors.
In building
your
a brand.
attitude, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So what about the family angle? Because, you know, if you have a family that have sent you to good schools, invested a lot in your education, you're an economics graduate, and you tell them you want to start making clothes. How was that received? Was it something that was supported or not?
Okay, it was easier for me because my mom used to make clothes. So I think it was easier for her because she used to make clothes. But everybody else was like, oh, okay, so actually, let me tell you, they told me to work in a bank. So I didn't argue with them. I was already doing my fashion, I was already working on my fashion brand, but I didn't fight with them. They said, go and work in the bank. So I went to GT Bank, and I worked there for a year, but I hated it. I worked with, but also my boss, I told her what I really wanted to do. I told her I don't really like to be here. So she said, okay, I'll give you an opportunity. I have an event. This was on Wednesday. She said, I have an event on Saturday. This is the fabric. Go and make the outfit. If you make the outfit and you make it properly, then I'll really believe that you don't need this job. If not, you are going to have to be serious with it. And I did it. She loved it, and she was like, okay, actually, you know what? We'll find a way to work around it. So I think
we'll find a way to ease you out.
Yes, to ease you out. So, but I didn't argue with them. I did it, and then when they saw that, okay, it seems like this thing is serious. This girl is. Ultimately, when you're working, is job satisfaction and being paid. And I was doing the two, so they were like, okay, you know what, let's allow her. But of course, they opposed in the beginning. They made me know it's better to work, it's more secure, you have security, you don't have to be looking for money. I mean, ultimately, they don't want you to suffer, they don't want you to go through. But yeah, I mean, if you show them that, I think you have to prove yourself.
Right, definitely.
So yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. So you are working in a bank and sewing or making clothes as well. Do you think that is kind of a good track for a lot of people? Because sometimes people have an idea, they want to run out with the idea, and they haven't thought about how they're going to pay the rent and stuff like that. So in a sense, it was a side hustle for you.
Yes, it was.
Did you then feel that you had to get to a point where you were making enough from it to sustain yourself before you quit the job, or you took a step of faith and quit the job? Okay,
I quit the job because I didn't want to do it. So I took a step of faith and quit the job, knowing that. But I think that, you see, I think that it's good to work in a structured environment first before you. I think it's better because you learn work ethics, You learn how to deal with people.
Right.
There are things you take from the job. So I wouldn't say leave. I would say work in a structured environment first before you go and do your side hustle.
Right.
But also, if you remember, the side hustle has started before. So really, the bank was the side hustle.
Oh, for you?
Yes, for me. But
Okay.
I actually appreciate working in the bank now because, yes, I made a few contacts. Also, when it was time for me, I mean, I needed to get a car and I didn't have enough money. I needed to take a loan from the bank. But it was easier because I already had a relationship with them.
Right.
And they knew. So I think that also there are a lot of things that can come from, good things that can come from working in a structured environment. So I think for everybody, it helps you build yourself.
Right.
When you, also I think that working under somebody teaches you how to deal with working with other people.
When you have staff as well.
Exactly.
Because you've been somebody's, employee.
Exactly. So I think it's important as well to work in a structured environment before you do, before you do your own business.
Right. Because I know for some people, they kind of feel, they working on a job for them, holding back their dream. They're so eager to get started that they want to junk whatever it is they're doing and invest their full time and full passion in the business. Whereas I've seen people kind of inch towards it where, okay, I want to make sure that the rent is paid and, you know. So maybe it's a personality thing as well, that some people, you know, want to hedge their bets and some people just want to jump in.
I think it's the amount of risk that you're willing to take. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So in a sense for you, although it might have seemed to other people like a risk, it wasn't a risk to you because you were very sure about your ability to make it work.
Yes, I was.
Okay,
fantastic.
I was. So you said something interesting, which was going to be my next question, which was, okay, you have the idea. Moving the idea now from idea stage to reality requires lots of practical things. Requires an office, a shop, money. How did all that come about or fall into place for you?
Okay, so for example, I needed a car. I couldn't afford a car by myself. But because I worked in the bank, and obviously because I had made a few contacts in the bank, and they knew who I was, it was easy for me to take a loan.
Right.
So I took a loan to buy the car, and I was paying.
Right.
So it was easy for me, easier than it would be normally. And then I took the loan because obviously you had to have a salary account if you wanted to do it fast, but I had had a salary account there before. So I took a loan. Concerning where I was staying, getting a place, I was living in Ikeja and I had a place there. But a lot of my clients were here.
On the island.
On the island. So what I did was,
because relocated?
I relocated. Because I had proven myself to my grandparents, they allowed me use their house.
As a base for your shop.
Exactly, as a base. So I was doing it. But I had to prove myself first. So I think it's easier for people to invest in you if they see that you are serious or they see that everybody wants to be associated with success. So if they see that, okay, if I give her this, she's not going to mess it up.
Right.
She's not going to take it for granted. So I think it's important to always prove yourself. So I had done that, so it was easier to be able to get favors from my grandparents.
As a result. So in a sense, when you prove yourself, it opens other doors.
Yes.
It's kind of a platform for,
for other
favors, or should we say blessings and opportunities,
blessings and opportunities
to come along.
Yes.
So you took a loan, and I think for a lot of people who want to start a business, that is a huge stumbling block for them. Some people are scared about that, being indebted to an institution, not being able to meet their obligations. So was that a fear for you, or was this something that you just thought, hey, this is my next level, this is what I've got to do?
I just knew that, first of all, I need the car to be able to move about. I need the car, the shop space was already there, but I needed to go and get fabric, I needed to deliver to clients. So I told myself, I said, okay, you know what? I gave myself a target. How much did you have to pay the bank every month? How many dresses? I don't even think I was that detailed, but I said, okay, how much is it? You have to pay it. They gave me options of paying within 5 years, if I want to pay within 3 years. And I said, no, I'll pay it in 1 year.
Right.
It was a lot, but I just told myself, you know what, I would take of course, going to the bank, I had paid some. I didn't take the full amount, no. So while making the clothes before, I had saved up. So I took some money. So I didn't take, it wasn't like I wanted to buy a 5 million naira car. No, the car wasn't 5 million actually. I think it was about 2 point something or 3. I don't remember. But obviously.
Naira.
Yes, naira. I had already I had paid a huge, maybe about 70% or already I had saved.
Okay.
and then I could pay for the car. So, I mean, I think it's better, you have to have something.
Right.
Before, I think it's easier, it's better for you so that you are not, and also I just told myself, I'm not buying any designer bags, I'm not buying any designer shoes. Everything that I get from this, I will put back in the business. Once I paid for the car, then I can do this. So I think if you have it at the back of your mind that this is what you want to do, you will work towards it.
Right.
So
having goals,
myself.
having a focus,
Yes.
having a plan in place, you know.
Yes.
In a sense, I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself a little because I wanted to speak later on about the entrepreneurial spirit, because I do think that people who are successful in business, there is a pattern to them, or there's certain traits and characteristics, you know, that they have. And I remember many, many years ago when you came to spend the summer with us in the UK, one day at the end of the day, I found you writing how much you had spent in your book. You had a little notebook. And
I don't remember.
You don't remember. You used to jot down little things, that how much you had spent. So if you went out and you spent, you know, 50p on a bus, you bought Chris for a magazine, at the end of each day, you would detail how much you'd spent. And I found that such a unique trait.
So yes, I think you have to have it in you. Some people, to be honest, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's just that some people are not entrepreneurs. Some people will work in the bank.
Right.
Some people will work in institutions. It's not, you have to have a fighting spirit,
Yeah.
I think, to be an entrepreneur, especially in this
Environment.
Yes, in this environment, you have to have it. You have to be able to decide that, you know what, I will make it, because I mean, there are a lot of things that you're fighting with. You're fighting with infrastructure, you know, you're fighting with, in fact, my friend was telling me the other day, they asked for TV license. So you're fighting with all sorts of, but I think if you tell yourself that this, because to be honest, it's even now that I know that my friends say, oh, set a target, without knowing, I do it without, I don't sit down to say, okay, let me put.
It's not something structured.
Yes, it's not structured, but I do it. You say, I don't even remember doing this in London, but you sit down and put it without knowing.
Put a plan in place.
Yes, in place.
Okay.
In place, you do.
So let's talk more now about learning as you go. Because for a lot of people who want to build something out of nothing, who have a dream, they think they have to have all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the know-how before they get started. And as a daughter of an entrepreneur, one of the things that I know about business is that you learn as you go. You don't learn on the job. So you didn't have any training in fashion.
No.
So how was it for you? Was it a steep learning curve? You know, building a fashion brand without any formal fashion training?
Okay, I think for me, it wasn't difficult because I wasn't doing too many things. Also, apart from that, I wouldn't say I read, to be honest. I don't really. My husband even abuses me that if you put money in a book, I won't find it, as much as I like money. But I think that what it was I was watching TV, learning. I was learning without, going to school.
So you were learning through
media.
Yes. And I think this is really, because I have two sons.
Yes.
And one is a total bookworm. And the second one doesn't like to read. And we've done all sorts of things to try and bribe him, you know, into reading. But what I found out is actually he takes in a lot of content, but he does it in a different format.
Yes, not from
So
books. He
would rather watch stuff online, read stuff online, than you know, get a traditional book. So, you know, I think it's interesting that you learned that way, because I think that's another trait of all entrepreneurs, is that they're lifelong learners.
It's true. It's true. So I look at the internet a lot. There's so much on the internet. You look at the internet. Also, you look at trends. Also, you have to apply what you're seeing to your environment. You have to be. I knew how I wanted the outfit to look, or I knew how I wanted it to look. So I look at, if you make a mistake here, you try another way. So you learn while you're doing it. I don't think, also if you went to fashion school, it's good, it's excellent. But I realized that with a lot of things, it works differently. So you learn this, or you go to a management training in London, or you go to a management in Nigeria, it's different from London. It's different from, you have to apply it or be practical. Look at ways, okay, so you learned how to work with, so for example, everybody is wearing a buba. You find a way to work around it, to modernize it, to change it, to apply it.
So Iran buba is the traditional Yoruba outfit.
Exactly.
So you're talking about customizing it, making it more modern and relatable,
yes, you
for
find
women.
ways, yes, exactly. You find ways. Also, I think being unique helps a lot. Try not to, I mean, people want something that they haven't seen before.
Right.
So being able to say, okay, you know what, let me try it. So you apply it. You can't, I don't think is, if you took something and copied it immediately, it may not work. So you apply it yourself, you try it, try different things. I've tried to make bags, I've tried to make shoes, I've tried to, so try.
So it's about being creative.
Yes, it is.
It's about being creative.
It is.
Okay. And what about failing forward? Because I think that sometimes the biggest business lessons we learn is from failures. It's from things that didn't work out. It's from things that, went wrong. So can you share any examples with us of maybe things that you've experienced in your business that have been huge learning curves for you?
Okay. I learned, in the beginning, because I didn't actually know that it would be as big as, I mean, I was doing it because I liked it, but I didn't have to be honest, I didn't
have a grand plan.
I didn't have a 5-year plan.
Okay.
I didn't have a 3-year plan. The way people say, oh, put your 3-year plan. So I was just going with the flow. But I realized that at a point it became too big. And then I had to. So I think it's important to have a plan.
To think ahead.
Yes, to think ahead. So I think that part of the things I failed at was that I didn't have a plan. So it got to a point when I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know should I move forward? Should I go back? Am I doing ready to wear? Am I doing bespoke? But I think it would have been easier if I told myself, or if I had sat down and, you could, I mean, now you won't have people that can sit with you and help you write a business plan.
Strategize.
Yes. Also, I didn't know to delegate. I was doing everything myself. So it was, after a while, it became too much for me. It was difficult. So I think the most important thing is to have a plan. Other things about, I mean, everything else. Also, another issue that I had was dealing with people. I didn't know how to manage people properly. I didn't go with my times. So I think first I failed at not having a plan. Because I just went with every day. I liked it. This person will come today, tomorrow. After a while, they didn't just want to come. They wanted different things. They wanted to, and because I was just going, I became scattered. People would just come, oh, what is the plan today? I didn't have organization in my staff, so the tailor will come today, he won't come tomorrow. I didn't, so of course I was not meeting up with my deadlines. So I started to have issues with that. So I now had to sit back and have a proper plan of moving forward. Also, I think that another issue that I had was that if somebody upset, I didn't understand customer service. So if somebody came and was just misbehaved, I would speak back to them, and then they will go and maybe one client. But one client to tell another client, another client to tell another client, and I started to get negative feedback. Oh, she's rude, she's this. And at the end of the day, people are paying. If I'm paying for a product, I want to feel like a queen when I go there. So I just learned that as well. I learned to manage people, to be patient, to be apologetic, to be nice, to go above and beyond. So I think those are the two things I learned.
Yeah. And I mean, the fashion business is a customer service business.
Yes, it is fully. In fact, I tell my staff now that sometimes when things don't go well, the reason why the customers come back is the way that you treated them. Because they know that when in Nigeria, your generator can pack up today, so your dress room is ready. But it's how you make them feel that they remember. When they come and the dress isn't ready. Exactly. So it's important. For me, I find that you can have all your structures in place, but you cannot really tell what's. So I think it's the way customer service is key, but I just learned that.
Okay. You learned that on the job.
On the job.
Okay. So I think with the business, there's an X factor with business people. And when I say an X factor, what I mean is that although you said at the beginning that one of your primary motivations for getting started was financial independence, for a lot of business people, it's more than about money.
Yes.
There's an extra motivation. There's an extra internal drive that is keeping them going. So for you, what would you say that factor is? So for somebody like Richard Branson, for example, he's a great adventurer. He loves new ideas, concepts, doing things that haven't been thought about. So at the moment, I think he's trying to develop holiday packages to the moon, for example. I mean, it's really out there.
Oh, wow.
So he has that adventurous spirit that he carries into business. For you, what is it that drives you beyond the money that comes with business?
What drives me is to walk into a place and to see somebody wearing my brand, and it fits in so perfectly. And the referrals, for me, it used to drive, I think the peak of it was to enter a place and see everybody talking about somebody, and who made the outfit is Funke Adepoju or Funk Africa at the time. I think for me, that's what drives me. Okay. It drives, I mean, when I see the outfits, in fact, a lot of people always say, Funke, you don't make half of the things that you don't wear half of the things that you make. Yes, but I just want to see it on a mannequin or on the person walking. That's what drives me.
So it's the personal satisfaction.
Yes, it's the personal satisfaction.
Somebody wearing your, wearing
so a happy client. Or the other day, a customer actually walked into my store, and I was sitting with her, and we were talking, and she started crying, and I was like, why are you crying? And she said, your clothes help me. When I wear the clothes, I feel better about myself. My self-esteem is, I feel happy about myself. I feel more confident, and those are the things that make me feel on top of the world. Those are the things that make me feel happy, because somebody is wearing the outfit and it has helped their confidence.
So let's talk a little bit about the future. I know that you said when you started that you were kind of making it up as you went along. But I'm sure now you're thinking more strategically.
Yes.
In terms of the future of your business, what kind of ideas and plans do you have in the kitty?
So the plans that I have at the moment is that I want to perfect the bespoke line. So we have a bespoke line, but I'm trying to perfect the bridal line. So we're getting a lot of brides coming in. So I'm trying to get better tailors that do more, not wedding dresses, just like bridal traditional outfits, the one that they wear for traditional weddings. Also, I want to perfect the ready-to-wear line, whereby everybody will have a Funk Africa piece. At least almost every woman in Lagos would have a Nigeria would have a Funk Africa piece in their wardrobe of Funke Adepoju. So I'm trying to make it, we're trying to focus on the ready to wear. We're also trying to make sure that it's affordable. So those are the things I'm working on, because it's a bit difficult because you have a lot of running costs already. So trying to make it available to everybody is difficult, but that's my ultimate goal. So we're working towards it. So if we're going to outsource, but that's the aim.
So you're kind of talking about different streams within your business, developing different streams.
Developing different streams, so that for the ready-to-wear, the business can run by itself. Also, for the, I want to have, so that will be the go-to people for brides. So I'm getting married and I want to make something for my traditional wedding. I want 1 out of every 4 brides to say, I'm going to Funke Adepoju to make mine.
For my dress.
Yes, so that's what we're working on at the moment.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about your business. Let's talk now about Funke Adepoju, the woman, because you're a mother. You have 2 small children under 5, I believe.
Yes.
How does it all work? How do you manage to run a business, run a home, be a wife, be a mother?
Okay, as I always tell people, you have to have a good support system. I think it's important to know that to be able to, you can't do everything. You have to delegate.
Because I was going to say, you seem to be the poster girl for having it all. Can you have it all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You can't. You have to delegate work. I don't understand being superwoman. I don't really, for me, I feel like you have to delegate. So I have 2 nannies who help me with my 2 kids. Also, I have a fantastic husband who is very understanding. I think it's important to do a lot on the home front. So you have to, as much as I'm at work, I'm at work a lot later than I usually, because we're working on a project at the moment and I get home late. But it's important I have a good husband. It's important to have a good relationship with your husband. It's important to have a good relationship with your children so I find that even with my staff, so my nannies are on top of things with the kids, and then my husband, I make sure that I make time when I don't have to be at work. I make time to, I'm at work Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I try and stay at home with my kids. I go to a few events, but I make sure that I focus so that they know that, okay, if she could be at home, she'll be here. Yeah, she would be. So I make them my priority. Even while I'm at work, I'm calling to check. But it's important to understand that it's a sacrifice. So for example, it's easy for me to say, oh, my husband, he should understand I'm working as well. but you still have to be a woman. So you still have to do your duty at home. Before I leave the house, I make sure that food is ready. I don't have to be the one making the food, but I have to make sure that it's there.
There's food at
it's
home.
It's your duty as a wife. I 21st century or whatever century we're in, it's important to do your duty. Make sure that there's food in the house, make sure the children you have set up a structure where everything is working.
Where the home front is not suffering.
Yes, where it's not suffering. You know, I apologize to my husband as well. I make sure that he's okay. So when I go home, I'm still not, when I get home, I try and switch off so that it's home time.
So you're fully present.
So I'm fully present, yes.
Okay. So do you feel like being a business owner as opposed to a career person makes it much more easier for you to be in charge of your time?
For sure, yes.
Because I know that for a lot of women, for example, who work in a corporate structure, it's totally different. You know, their time is regulated. They don't have time.
Yes.
They have to be in the office from 9 till 8 p.m. or whatever. I mean,
I was saying it the
suffer.
other day. You know, I mean, there was a time that they kidnapped some kids. They said the woman interviewed the nanny. She works in a bank. She interviewed the nanny in the bank. She found the nanny on all these websites, and she interviewed the nanny. And in the bank where she works, she had took like 1 hour to quickly go and interview the nanny, and the nanny actually kidnapped her kids the day after, and people were judging her. And I said, look, it's difficult. She's at work she leaves the house at 5 because she lives on the mainland. She has to get to work on the island. She leaves at 5. She closes at 7. There's so much traffic on the bridge. She won't get home till 9. She did what she had to do. Yes, it was wrong for her. I mean, you can say whatever, but it was because she didn't have a choice. So I think that also being an entrepreneur, it's easier for you to manage your time.
Definitely.
So you can say, okay, you can take the kids to school, you can drop them off, you can pick them up, it's easier. So yes, I would definitely say it's easier to work as a businesswoman than a career woman.
Yes, it's definitely easier to balance it all or keep it all
easier.
going.
Yes,
when you have control over how you spend your time.
How you spend your time. I think that's part of the benefits of being a businesswoman.
All right, so let's take some closing questions as we draw down the interview. If you would say there are some key qualities that a successful entrepreneur should have, what would they be?
You have to have a drive. You have to be able to tell yourself that no matter what's happening around you, you will be successful. You have to drive yourself. Nobody's going to help you.
So self-motivation.
Yes, you have to be self-motivated. Also, you have to have goals. You have to tell yourself, between this time and this time, this is what I want to do. Even if you don't, write it down. Even if you don't physically, go and say, okay, I went to this person to help me, but have it in the back of your mind or have it written down and say, okay, between 2001 and 2000, and I think it's easier if you take the goals daily or you take the goals sometimes or give yourself time. It's up to you, but you have to have goals. Also, you have
something you're working towards.
Yes, you have to have something that you're working towards. Also, I think that it's important to not be afraid.
Be fearless.
Yeah, you have to be fearless. You have to be fearless. You have to tell yourself that I'm going to be what I need to be. And then I think finally you have to be a people person. You have to be, or if you can't be, find somebody that will be for your brand.
Who is with you?
Yes, who can help you.
Okay. So what about for a female entrepreneur? Are there additional traits that a female entrepreneur needs to have?
I think that it depends on, yes, I think that they're possibly, but I also think that it depends on the field that you're in. If you're working as an entrepreneur, if you're working with men, so for example, you're all in like I think maybe it's good to still be tough. Don't let it be obvious that you're, even when you're driving or you're on the road, you say, okay, now woman driver. So it's important for you to tell you, don't give yourself anything that will make them, so that if a man is going to be there from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m., you'll be there as well at that time. Don't let it be, there are all these issues that come with being a woman. I can't, fix those and make sure that you do what you have to do. So I think
you have to be fully on the ball.
Yes, you have to be fully on the ball.
Okay, so let's take our closing question. Let's say there's a woman out there who has a burning idea or passion on her heart that she wants to make into reality. What advice or encouragement would you give her?
First, I would tell her to be sure that that's what she wants to do. Because you can try something. I would say try first. Always try it. The only thing, the worst that will happen is that it won't work out. You will fail at it. But always try it. And then if you try it, you might decide, okay, you know, I actually don't like it. But give it a try. And also, don't be quick to quit. Take your time.
Stay through it.
Yeah, stay through it. So say, okay, you know what, I started this thing, I said I wanted to start this idea of maybe, I didn't even know that was possible. I found a lady who she actually makes honey. And in fact, I thought, honey, who's going to, what do I need honey? What would they make honey for? What would you need it for? So I can imagine that at the time, maybe she may have thought about it may be difficult. But then she told me, she said she sells honey to spas. They use their honey for their waxing. She sells, so for example, events as well, she bottles them. She sells them also. She sells them to, so I can imagine that it may be difficult in the beginning, but stay on it. Try it. And in fact, one of my friends started to sell nail polishes the other day. In fact, when she told me, I said, who's going to buy nail polish? How much nail polish are you going to sell? But she has stuck by it. She sells her nail polishes on Amazon. She's here in Nigeria. Sells on Amazon. She sells in stores in America, everywhere here now. She's made it fashionable to use her nail polish as opposed to using OPI, which is like a bigger brand.
Yes.
So stay at it.
Okay.
Just stay and tell yourself that you have to be successful at it. And I think that you will be.
Okay, so to summarize, you've got to be fearless.
Yes.
You've got to be willing to take risks.
Yes.
You've got to be innovative. Go where perhaps other people haven't gone before. Try new product ideas. And be somebody who stays through it, who sticks through it, through the good times and bad times.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes people think that business is going to be an easy road, you know. So being able to stay with the peaks and the chores and come out at the other end. So thank you, Funke, for coming on the show. I hope it's been enjoyable for you.
It is. Thank
I've
you for
learned so
having me.
much, and I'm looking forward to hearing greater and greater things about the Funke Freak and the Funke Adepoju brand.
Thank you.